Yo! Golly, I still feel like this ain't right enough. What's good, y'all? It's Project Man, and today we will be watching New Era, who made WWE great again, from Wrestle with Andy. That's the YouTube channel name. Check him out. I've seen him off camera. Good freaking guy. Makes good freaking content, man. But we're going to go ahead and get into this. No ifs, fans, or maybe it's no more wasting time. Let's get this thing going.
In recent months, WWE has gone through something of a renaissance in quality, to the point that many fans now consider the show to be at the best it's been since the early 2000s. And sure, a lot of the reason for this can be put down to a change in management, but that shouldn't negate the contribution of the various wrestlers who have helped to rebuild the company's recent renaissance. But who are the best of the best when it comes to the performers of this new era? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be looking at today.
Go ahead and dissect.
And where better to start than with the leader of this new era, Cody Rhodes. Yes,
yeah, man, hold on. We gotta start with the Rose, man. I'm still trying to get this lighting right. I done it. But anyway, yeah, I ain't gonna pause it too much because it messed up the recording on my last video. I had a nice video I wanted to put out for y'all. It was very good and informational, but the screen recording messed up. But we're gonna play it. But real quick, I just want to say Cody has obviously been the face of this new generation, and we kind of knew that the new generation, not talking about the early 90s, mid-90s new generation era, but I'm talking about this new era. We kind of knew it would really start to really feel that way and kickstart when Cody won the WWE Championship. We kind of knew it would start with that, you know.
The new era of WWE had an ace
credits all
that
over
it would
Roman,
undoubtedly be the American Nightmare.
You know, this moment of him winning the WWE Championship,
at WrestleMania 38, he's
wouldn't
been
have
one
felt
of the
as
most
good
over
if he hadn't
stars
been so
they've had.
dominant.
It didn't matter who he was facing and what injuries he was being forced to endure.
Came in as an older
fans were
babyface.
behind Cody no matter
They immediately
what. And that was something which all
received
eventually
him
led
well.
to Triple H realizing that if there was ever going to be someone perfectly suited to ending Roman Reigns' lengthy run as undisputed WWE Universal Champion, it was the grandson of a plumber. And so began the finishing of the story. One of the best angles WWE has done in years, as heading into WrestleMania 39, most fans anticipated Cody beating the Tribal Chief in the main event of Night 2.
Which I felt should have
And it
happened.
turned out to be a great thing in the long run. He would lose this one, as in the end, things worked out perfectly. Why is this? Well, because after spending a year building himself back up and maintaining his popularity with fans, the youngest Rhodes son went on to challenge Roman again, and this time would beat him for the gold.
Even though we're not going to leave out the fact that the initial plan, which they've admitted, was for my boy The Rock to face Roman Reigns. But it's honestly just one of those things where, you know, it turned out well, but they had to go and what the buildup wasn't even as good as the first one. But you forget that because of all the legends that were in the match and all the moments that it made. But people forget, like, the build was nowhere near as good as when they first had their first go around. But it could have worked either way, whether they went and had him win WrestleMania 39 or 40. But I feel like 40, they knew they couldn't screw around with it. They knew at 40 the job had to get done.
In a new era in the process. Where will Cody go from here? Wherever he wants to, it seems, because for as long as he wants to keep on wrestling, he'll no doubt have a spot in the WWE's main event scene waiting for him. Even if he goes on to work in movies, as his upcoming cameo in the new Naked Gun remake suggests he might be starting to do, WWE fans will welcome him back with open arms whenever he returns.
I didn't even know it was
a rare thing for a traditional babyface to get this over in the modern day, so Triple H should take full advantage of what he has while he still has it, because Cody has now fully proven that he is simply undeniable as world champion.
Bro,
but
what a
he's not
sell
the only world
from
champion in
Melo
modern
in
day
that clip.
WWE who deserves a spot in today's video, because the exact same thing could be said for the current top guy on Raw, Damian Priest. Now, we know it's early days for Priest as champion, and so to call him a...
Now, like I said, I'm going to be pausing like quick, because like I said, it'd be messing up. But anyway, I think Priest, for him, don't ignore this freaking bump, bro. I ate a little unhealthy, and now it's ruining my face, bro. I was doing so well with the healthy eats, and then I got a little off track, so now it's messing it up. But anyway, really quick, Damian Priest to me just hasn't found, like, he's had some good moments on the promos at times, but to me he just has not found his stride. But that's not to say he won't, but I just feel like he hadn't found his stride yet for me to really take to him as the champion.
It might seem a little premature, but if his recent work is anything to go by, then we're sure he'll be great in the role. After all, as a key member of the Judgment Day, he's helped to make that faction the top thing on Raw at points. And with him finally getting his big win at WrestleMania, there's no reason for him to wait in the shadows with his Money in the Bank briefcase any longer. No, and now that he's got the gold around his waist, Damian Priest can finally achieve his true form, that of a world champion who can serve as the main event of a brand.
Yeah,
and
on
with
the character
Raw
side,
in many ways feeling like the top brand in all of WWE right now, this is a good place for Priest to be. The only question is how long he will hold that title for, and when he does eventually drop it, will he be able to maintain the same level of momentum? We'd be inclined to think yes to the latter question, as even when he no longer holds the top prize, he'll still have Dirty Dom, Rhea Ripley, and Finn Balor by his side, helping him whenever he needs an extra boost.
Till they break up.
The Judgment Day has truly proven that when they work together, there's no one who can beat them. It's true of the men's division, and it's most certainly true of the women's division as well, something which can be seen in our next subject, Rhea.
Try Puffs Plus lotion when your allergies begin. They help soothe and relieve sensitive skin.
We really don't want people to think of feeding food like ours.
I think with Damian Priest,
good real food.
I feel like he just needs to find that next level as far as character work to get there to that spot. But
Ripley.
No doubt,
Seriously,
Rhea Ripley
in all of wrestling right now,
really
there's
well
no bigger women's star than Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
and the reason for that is because over the last few years, she's absolutely dominated.
Honestly, really quick, I'm gonna say probably that a lot, but I was gonna say honestly, like the only person that could rival Rhea Ripley is Jade Cargill. But even then, all Jade Cargill needs to do is just tighten up in the ring, which she's doing better on every time she's in there. All she would have to do is tighten up in the ring, and I think her and Rhea, we could be talking about them on the same level.
Her division through brute force and sheer
you talking about a new era, a new faces.
That's right. She's the closest thing we have to a modern day China. And that's something she's done all throughout this new era of WWE. Hell, there's a reason she was on the cover of 2K24, and that's because she's one of the most recognizable figures the company has created in recent years. In fact, the only thing that's been able to slow her reign of dominance at all is injury, because following a recent bad bump she took during a backstage segment with Liv Morgan, Mommy has been put on the shelf for the foreseeable future.
Definitely did.
Once she returns, though, we've no doubt it'll be right back to dominating things in the way that only she can. And by the time she does come back, we'll probably be seeing our next subject peek his hat out from hibernation once more too. Who are we talking about here? Why, Roman Reigns, of course.
Roman.
Now, while Cody Rhodes has
as I said, Roman did a lot for the title. Honestly, brought a good bit of fans back to wrestling, man. I mean, if y'all were looking at the ratings, bro, the Bloodline segments were bringing in the ratings and or the viewership for SmackDown. On the live viewership and on the YouTube views afterwards, Twitter, Instagram, all the views were at an all-time high when the Bloodline was on top. At their peak storytelling, especially. Yeah. So, gotta give Roman his props, man. He did a lot.
He perched himself in the spot of top babyface of the company. You could argue he wouldn't have gotten there had he not had a foil like Roman Reigns to play off.
That's what I just said.
Yes, well, that first decade or so of his run might have been hampered by questionable booking and fan rejection. Ever since he returned to the ring in 2020 with an all-new heel Tribal Chief character, the head of the table has been one of the most compelling figures on WWE TV. Sometimes it's been as the dominating champion who no one could defeat. Sometimes it's been as the megalomaniacal boss of his own mafia-like organization, and sometimes it's even been as a man desperate to cling on to power in the face of his family abandoning him. Whatever role he's been playing, though, Roman has consistently drawn viewers over to SmackDown since Triple H took over the reins of creative. But then why wouldn't he? Because with the Bloodline being at points the hottest angle in the entire industry, and with him serving as the linchpin of this, there's been no player in the WWE system more key to them having the success they've had recently. And then there's that run as undisputed WWE Universal Champion, a run which lasted for 1,316 days and saw the Anoa'i family member become the fourth longest reigning champion in company history, behind only Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund, and Bruno Sammartino. Sure, he may now no longer be champion, but that doesn't mean he can't still have a key role to play in this new era of WWE going forward. After all, we still haven't fully ended the Bloodline saga yet, and it won't end until the Tribal Chief challenges our next subject one-on-one, The Rock. That's right.
Yes, sir, my boy. But actually, really quick, I was going to say this. And I think I actually thought about this, making a video on it. But I feel like we all can kind of sense that Roman's going to come back as a babyface, considering the "We Want Roman" chants and everything. happening pretty much almost every time the bloodline is on the TV. Do y'all think, and I'm not talking about like them having a championship match or anything, but just in general, do y'all think, and like I said, I think I'm gonna make a whole separate video on this. Do y'all think that Roman Reigns will be a bigger babyface than Cody Rhodes? Because, I mean, we know it's going to be, I mean, because Roman's the face of the company. I feel like, The Rock and Stone Cold were both the faces of the company kind of pretty much at the same time. I feel like it's something similar with Roman and Cody here, because Cody's the WWE champion, going out there as the guy, kissing the babies on the heads, and, you know, signing people's sign and staying after the shows and all this other type of stuff. But then Roman, even still as a part-timer, they're going to love that guy when he comes back. So one has to ask, is he going to be a bigger baby face as far as fan reception? Are they going to receive Roman as like the cool, badass baby face more than they receive Cody as the superhero baby face? Like, they're going to like him more. But I'm going to make a separate video on talking about that.
May not be a full-time wrestler
but my boy
anymore,
The Rock,
but
man,
that doesn't mean Dwayne Johnson hasn't been a key figure in WWE's
has been
creative
doing
renaissance
fantastic
recently.
work to
Why is
add
that?
that extra
Well, as of
edge
January
that
2024,
WWE
the
needs.
Great One has become a member of the board of WWE's parent company, TKO.
And has
meaning
been doing
he, at
some
this
of the
point,
best promos
technically
that we've
outranks the
seen on
likes of Triple
television,
H
bro.
and Nick Khan. And that has allowed him
And
free
it's not
reign to
surprised
be as
who it's
creative
from,
as he
but, you
wants
know.
whenever he is on screen then, whether that be filling up the swear jar on episodes of Raw,
No
or
doubt.
reminding us why he was so great at the turn of the millennium by holding rock concerts on episodes of SmackDown. Yes, it's true that he is going to be off TV for a while now in order to film his Mark Kerr biopic, The Smashing Machine, but we fully expect to see him return in time for either SummerSlam or WrestleMania 41 to face Cody
Definitely
Rhodes.
WrestleMania 41.
In
if not
fact, given the
SummerSlam.
way things are going behind the scenes at WWE, we wouldn't be surprised to see him have full creative control of the product by that point. Yes, it remains
very much
entirely
possible
possible
that he
that
could be
this
in
could
control of
eventually
the
go from
WWE
being a
one
new
day.
era led by Triple H to an even newer era led by The Rock. Of course, if that time comes, we've no doubt our next subject will be a key player in the Great One's arsenal, as he's quite simply one of the best wrestlers in the world. That's right, it's time to talk about Gunther.
Ordinary dish soaps can leave
Hey,
invisible
while
grease
Ordinary
behind.
Dish Soap is giving
Only
us their
Dawn
rundown,
Platinum removes
The Rock has
99%
been
of grease.
acing it as the final boss, cutting
Hey,
the
with
best
Priceline
promos,
VIP
even though they're
Family,
like
you can
30,
unlock
20
deals
minutes,
5 times
30
faster.
minutes,
You don't
but
even have to be an
I
actual
will
family.
say, man,
Yes.
you cannot lie. The Rock has been bringing some great television. I ain't gonna lie, no glazing, but once he had to go back to Hollywood, I immediately was like, I immediately just felt his presence leave us, because I was like, no more 20-minute plus Rock promo, or 20+ minute Rock promos taking over the show, swearing all of how he can swear, and they're trying to mute the TV. I was like, man, I miss it. But
Gunther
keep it
truly
going.
is on
Gunther's
a whole
been
other level
definitely
to most performers in
freaking
terms of
very
his in-ring
dominant.
work. After
and no
all,
matter
it was
who
his
he
great
faces,
matches that led him to have the longest
he has
Intercontinental
made
title
them
reign of all
better
time
as a
at
performer and has put on
666
consistently
days.
great matches.
That's right, he's been one of the biggest highlights of WWE ever since he was first called up to
They
the
are
main roster
definitely
in
building
2022.
As
Really,
the new
you could easily make the argument he's the best in-ring wrestler
guy
in
that like is
WWE right
rarely
now.
beat.
And considering he's only 36
And he
years
doesn't
old,
cheat.
the ring
Similar to
general
how they
should
were
still
doing
have
with
at least
Brock
a
Lesnar,
decade
like,
worth of wrestling left in his
just,
career
well,
yet.
he's honestly
And
been more
probably
dominant than
more,
Brock
as
Lesnar.
with modern medicine being what it is, and most of his matches involving him beating the ever-loving hell out of his opponents and taking little in the way of bumps, we don't see any reason why he should slow down anytime soon.
This is
Well,
facts.
expect many more chops from hell coming from him in the future. Who knows? He'll maybe even deliver a few to our next subject, Logan Paul.
Oh, that would be a crazy
Yes,
matchup. Come on now, even if not as a person, that's up to your own interpretation. But definitely on the YouTube side of things, we are pro Logan Paul. Going into wrestling, doing some good promos, even though he's part-time, but man is obviously performing athletic performances and or matches of a lifetime. He's killing it, man. Gotta give him credit. Even though he's not there all the time, gotta give him credit for the extra publicity and crossing over the, YouTubers, legitimate YouTubers, legitimately got famous off of YouTube and going into wrestling. He's made a fantastic transition, and he's a guy who, has proved that, it's all about hard work. Even if you don't necessarily have all the natural talents to do something, he's put in the work to have the matches he has.
He's a controversial personality amongst many fans, but it remains undeniable that as far as celebrities turned wrestlers go, Logan Paul is one of the best, if not the greatest of all time.
Will definitely
and
go
this
as
has
a
been
GOAT
evident in each and every one of his matches thus far.
Celebrity.
It doesn't matter if it's
into a
Ricochet, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, or Kevin Owens, Logan has consistently delivered whenever he's asked to step in the ring, and that's been a huge positive for WWE in the current era it's in then, because with him being there and using his online celebrity status to bring his followers along for the ride, it's helped the company's TV ratings to no end.
That was not a good one.
The only question left then is who will be the one to eventually dethrone him for his United States title. Well, while there have been a variety of names suggested for this over the months he's held it, the one most fans would like to see would be our next subject, none other than L.A. Knight.
Yeah. Hey, man. Another one of my boys, man. LA Knight rocking it out on the microphone. Hopefully he does take it away from Logan Paul. I was one of those people who thought that was kind of working backwards, because if you've been in 2 world title matches, why would you then, dwindle down right back to the mid-card? But I guess that's kind of where you would have to go. But, hey, I'm all up for LA winning his first championship, man. I just hope that, I think the match will be fine, but I'm more excited for the freaking personalities clash there, because Logan, other than dominating Mysterio, Logan's arguably one of the most over heels. Like, you hear the boos he gets, and then the polar opposite with LA Knight getting all the pops and cheers. So, great clash of personalities there, and I'm ready. I'm excited to see
What a meteoric rise this guy has had over the last couple of years. From being an upper mid-card act in NXT to getting buried upon moving up to the main roster as part of the jobber tier maximum male models, all the way up to getting reskinned once more by Triple H once he took over, and from there pushed is a big deal. Of course, the reason LA Knight was pushed so hard at this point wasn't because the company were trying to force him on fans. No, quite the opposite, in fact, as it was the fans who were telling WWE what they wanted, and what they wanted was LA Knight. What made him so popular during this current era? Is it his catchphrase-heavy throwback character that apes the likes of Steve Austin and The Rock? Is it his high levels of charisma and promo ability? Yes, to all of these. And because the game has been a lot more open to going with what audiences are telling him, it's meant the Maryland native has been able to become something of a cult sensation over the last year or so, enough to where he's, at points, been getting bigger reactions than almost anyone else on the roster.
Especially when he was initially
though, as of yet, this has not translated into title success for him. No, while he has had opportunities, LA Knight remains beltless in his current incarnation. But like we suggested a moment ago, if he ends up being the one to finally win the United States title from Logan Paul, then that won't be a problem forever. And if that happens, his fans will at last be able to see him get the full recognition he deserves.
Yeah, just that validation is more
while we're waiting for that to happen, we can expect to see Knight remain a key fixture on SmackDown going forward, as with him being one of Triple H's top baby faces currently, every opportunity to get him on TV on Friday nights should be taken advantage of. But what about our next subject? Someone who just recently made a big return to the company after years away, CM Punk. Yes.
Hey, man, whether you like the guy or not, man, you cannot, and you can look up my reaction of live on his return. I will say, man, whether you like the guy or not, bro, when he came back, it was exciting. Even for people who probably don't really care that much about Punk or like him, even they gotta admit that, like, seeing him come back after almost 10 years was insane. Because, well, some people, it's one of those, you never thought he'd come back. And then some people go, maybe you thought he could come back because, time can heal all wounds. But nah, the man has definitely, the second he came back, it immediately rejuvenated life into the WWE. That's just what Punk does, man. And, really quickly, just admit that, obviously, even though him and McIntyre have only gotten physical one time, and that was when Punk was just announcing his tricep injury, they've been building this up to make you want to see this. This is one of the best stories going on in WWE right now. And these are two guys who have not even fought each other except the one time where Drew attacked him when he announced his tricep
Since his return to WWE
which
at the 2023 Survivor
Drew would
Series,
kind of have to
Punk
be on
has
this
been
list,
a major
bro,
part of this new
as, like,
era,
part of the new
so
era.
much so that even when he's not an active member of the roster, he's still being called upon to show up and appear in a segment or two. Yes, ever since getting injured at the Royal Rumble, we've seen Punk show up a couple of times on Monday nights to get into verbal battles with other people on the show. And whenever he's shown up, it's meant a boost for ratings. Yes, well, he might have only had one televised match since his return. He's been an important figure during 2024 regardless, and will likely continue to be an important figure going forward, no matter what his role on the show is. In fact, when he does come back from injury, he already has a couple of ready-made feuds waiting for him, one of which is against the man who's arguably the best thing going in WWE today. Who are we talking about this time? Who else but Drew McIntyre?
I'm gonna keep saying really quick because, like I said, I'm trying to make sure this video don't mess up. Hopefully it don't in post edit. But man, yeah, Drew's been good on the comedic timing, being a smart aleck, being freaking truthful, even though he's more heelish, but being truthful. And the man's just been operating on a great level as far as he's like really stepped into his bag as an entertainer. And a lot of us fans knew that his babyface run from 2020 to like early 2024, like late 2023, had run stale. So we're like, we know this guy's talented and the heel turn is all he needs. But I don't think anybody expected his heel turn to go like this well, like best work of his career well. I don't know if anybody thought that, but yeah, he's been operating differently, bro.
After all, it's Drew who managed to get so over by basically doing the Bret Hart in 1997 gimmick of being a heel who's secretly a babyface. And it's him who delivers such cutting lines as, "I prayed for this and it happened," when confronting CM Punk after he injured him. In fact, no matter what Drew has done over the last couple of years, it's been excellent. And this is exactly why Triple H has pushed him so hard and had him play such a key role in his television as of late. Hell, if you pushed us, then we'd be inclined to argue the point that there's no better character out there currently. And it looks like it's only going to get better from here, because with him now having the fact that he was screwed out of the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 40 to add to his pile of things to be angry about. And we can also expect him to still go nuclear whenever he comes into contact with CM Punk, as the two continue to build to their inevitable one-on-one encounter. And who knows, maybe Drew will win his upcoming match against Damian Priest at Clash at the Castle in his home country of Scotland and reclaim the world title. And if he does this, we have no doubt that he'll go on to have a big match by defending the title against his archenemy CM Punk, maybe even at SummerSlam. Of course, our next subject might have some...
Well, no, because, Gunther, this video was made 4 days ago. Gunther had won King of the Ring, I think, by that point. And they already said that they were going to have him challenge his respective brand's world champion. So we're not getting at SummerSlam for the title, at least. So either Drew wins the world title and faces Gunther, which he may or may not lose that, or they're going to have Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk at SummerSlam if Punk is healed by then, and just... have Punk maybe cost them the match. That's kind of been the thing that a lot of people have been speculating. Both situations are possible, but I can't even really give an opinion on it, because he can win the world title, great moment in front of his fans, but then also some fans are really obsessed with the story, so they're like, cost them again. But it's like, dang man, Drew would get cost so much. But anyway, still a great way you could go out of the way. But obviously with Punk interfering would be probably better off as far as just seeing Drew's just crash out would probably just be that much more interesting television. But yeah.
To say about this, however, because they no doubt want the belt back themselves, and that's Seth Rollins.
I'm interested in what Seth Rollins is going to come back as. Now, a few minutes ago, we made the claim that Gunther may be the best in-ring performer currently working for WWE, and while that may be a true statement for many, a lot of others would make the case that it's really Seth Rollins, because he's also someone that's been on another level consistently. And while his greatness in WWE has been evident as far back as 2012, it's only been in the last couple of years since Triple H took over creative that he's really felt like the guy who could lead a brand. Of course, this isn't to say he couldn't have done such a thing before had he been given the ball to run with, but obviously, Vince McMahon never had him booked at the tippy top level. When it comes to the cerebral assassin, though, he seems only too happy to push Rollins to the moon as the top guy on Raw, someone who would win that brand's newly introduced World Heavyweight title in 2023, and from there, hold it all the way up until WrestleMania 40. And during that time, the Monday Night Messiah was able to re-establish his position as the work rate king of the Fed by having, in the words of Sheamus, banger after banger after banger against the likes of AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and even Sami Zayn. Yes, there was never a night where Rollins missed, and so because of that, fans always wanted to see him whenever it came time for the bell to ring.
Sure, it looks like his immediate future will be spent on the shelf, as according to his wife Becky Lynch, he's recently undergone knee surgery. But we've been
Hopefully
here
he
before with
recovers
the
well,
architect,
man.
and whenever he's
I was just about to say something about Seth in the knee, man. That's just been always the thing that gives out. It gave out in 2015, I think that was. And now it's giving out almost 10 years later. It's just insane, man. And I don't even know if it's the same knee or not. I don't think it is, but it's just crazy how, man, that knee said, I'm going through it, brother.
From similar injuries in the past, he's always come back bigger and better than he had been before.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm
So
interested
God
to
knows
see
how
what
good he'll be next time we
kind
see
of
him. Maybe
version
Triple
he
H will
comes
have
back
no
as.
choice but to go all the way to the very pinnacle with the Iowa native and have him be the one to beat Cody Rhodes. But if for whatever reason Seth doesn't manage to climb that
would be
mountain,
crazy.
there are plenty of other contenders who could be champ after the American Nightmare's reign is over, and one of those is our next subject.
I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to think. I didn't even think about that. Seth Rollins. Well, nah, because Seth won't be on SmackDown, I don't think. Yeah, because I just realized we're literally it's so many returns we're waiting for. We got Roman, we got Rock for SmackDown returns, and then we got Seth and Punk. Like Punk's official return. You know, he's been there here and there, but his official return. So yeah, that's too big. I mean, they have a lot of big stars that can come back or we're waiting to come back into the mix, bro. They got some people lined up. Jey Uso, it just really depends on his momentum, but he's definitely been yeeting his way up the ranks.
Jey Uso.
You don't have to stink and be alone, Kevin. You can use Old Spice Total Body Deodorant Spray.
Man.
20.
Now, for making this video a few years ago, then the idea of having Jey Uso be listed as one of the best of WWE as a solo act would have been unlikely. Sure, he was always a great tag team wrestler, but that was a part of a duo with his twin brother Jimmy. When it came to singles action, however, he was completely unproven. So that was why it came as such a pleasant surprise then, that after morphing into main event Jey Uso in 2020, a man good enough to challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal title,
man,
we got
Roman,
our first sign that he was a lot better of a solo act than anyone could have expected.
The bloodline with him in it.
And this idea would only be further bolstered when, in 2023, Jey left the bloodline entirely and moved over to Raw, where for the first time in his career, he truly was left to fly solo without his family by his side. Yes, this was a risky move, but in the end it paid off dividends, as since that point, the youngest Uso sibling has proven himself to be such a hit with fans that it would almost seem like a step back for him to return to the tag team division now. But it's not all about the men in the modern era of WWE, as our earlier touching upon Rhea Ripley showed. And if you want another example of a woman who's absolutely killing it in the Fed under Triple H, then you need to look no further than Bianca Belair. Yes,
of course. But actually, really quick, what I was about to say was, I get the yeet thing is fun, but I wish he would go back to the serious promos. Like, yeah, it's fine to yeet every now and then, but I wish, like, it's like yeet, cool for, like, if you just want to have a little fun with the crowd, but then on the other weeks, they need to be, like, serious promos, really trying to sell yourself. Even if they yeet in between, right? You really trying to sell the match, like how he was doing it with the Bloodline. You know, in the Bloodline story, that was some of Jey Uso's best promos because he was serious and you were believing in what he was saying and everything. So yeah, I hope Jey Uso can go back to the more serious promos. I'm fine with yeeting a little bit every now and then so that, you know, just to have those promos to kind of hype up the crowd. But then when you really are in a storyline, I feel like we need more of those hard-hitting, serious promos because that Jey Uso was on fire.
Despite having no wrestling experience before signing with WWE
Bianca
in 2016,
definitely has,
she's since managed to prove herself to be a prodigy, the likes of which are rarely seen. Really, to look at her on SmackDown today, you'd think she's been doing this for well over a decade, but the truth is, she's only 8 years into her career. And in that time, she's already become a 2-time world champion, 1-time Royal Rumble winner, and 1-time WrestleMania main eventer. So who knows where she'll be 5 years from now when she's even more experienced. Will she have fully usurped the likes of Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley to become the key woman on the game's roster? It's entirely...
Oh, I sure didn't even say Bianca. I was saying, like, as far as, like, the future, because Bianca's already made. But I was talking about as far as the future, yeah. Bianca and Rhea have literally been the 2 top females that have been rocking it out for WWE since the 4 Horsewomen came along.
Barring any serious injuries, there's no reason she should be slowing down anytime soon.
At this point, we just need a heel run from Bianca Belair as far as something else from Bianca,
for years to come yet,
since we've already seen the
be
world
on Raw
title wins.
or on SmackDown. After all, despite what she's achieved already, there are still plenty of things for her to do in WWE, and there are still plenty of names she's yet to face. Names like Roxanne Perez, Lyra Valkyria, or the apparently incoming Julia. So strap in if you're a fan of hers, because the good times are only just getting started with respect to her run. But then the same can be said about everyone we've looked at today, because WWE is currently hotter than ever, and these performers will be the ones leading the charge from the front line as the absolute best the new era has to offer.
Nice. Great video, man. Like I said, Wrestle with Andy, man. Like, comment, subscribe on his channel, and most definitely on my channel. But really quick, before I get out of here, first we're going to say, these are definitely people that are pretty much the top people right now as the leader of the new era, which is funny because he didn't put Sammy on here. That's interesting because he put pretty much every world champion, then the mid-card champion, but not the mid-card champion for the other brand. I just thought that was, I just realized that. But yeah, these people have definitely been leading the charge. He pretty much nailed every person that's been like kind of the main focus of the new era. And it's looking bright. I mean, WWE is, I feel like they've come back with having stars on the program. Because beforehand, it was like, there was like that lack of, you know, people breaking out as superstars, mainly because people like Vince were like making it so overly scripted, and it was rare for somebody to really come out and be themselves. But now this feels like a WWE that's much more comfortable. And even though everybody's booking is not top tier, or the weekly shows aren't like the best we've ever seen all the time, there's still good stories being told, and there's a lot more stars being made. People like Chad Gable, and people like Braun Breaker, people like hopefully Carmelo Hayes when he gets on an actual storyline, so that he can really kind of, you know, get deeper into his character work. But they're building up well for the future, and what we got going on now is a really good thing. But the birth of a legend, as the recording of this video, is only in T-minus 8 minutes, man. And that is my birthday. Y'all go ahead, definitely run it up on this one. But if y'all want me to keep coming with more videos, I'm going to keep coming with them. I was going to do it anyway, but definitely that's going to make the video processing and video uploading process go that much more fun and that much more smoother with more people, with more demand. But at the end of the day, what can I say? It is what it is. And what it's going to be is the Prodigy coming with more videos, coming out with more bangers. And we're going to keep things rolling, keep it going, keep it moving. And we grooving on to the next one. Till y'all see y'all again. Since I am DJ White, I can say some stuff too. So without further ado, let's get it. Peace.